Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
What's up? Big Herc 916, and you're tuned in to another edition of Prison Talk. Man, I'm always trying to tell you young people to make smarter choices, to do better by yourself. Otherwise, you will be by yourself in a jail cell, calling your parents, crying, asking somebody to feel sorry for you. And this is a perfect example. This girl goes into a cell phone store to get her broken screen replaced. Instead of paying a man what could have been, maybe $100, tops, 120 bucks, $150, she tries to run out of the store. The man locks the door because he knew she was going to try to run. He had a premonition. And then she gets on the phone calling up some friends of hers to come down to the cell phone store to tear it up, free her from her captivity. He asked her multiple times to give him back the screen that he put on her phone. He will put her old screen back on there and she can leave, but she refuses. He threatens to call the cops. She's acting like she didn't do nothing. She's still talking to whoever she's talking to try to get them to come down to the store to tear it up. He calls the cops, explains the situation, says she tried to run out the store. She says she didn't try to run out the store. He's like, man, I got you on camera. But this is the bullshit, man. I just where's the rationale with all that, with that type of mentality, man? I mean, realistically, they lock the door like, oh, I'm caught. Okay, here you go. Give me back my old screen. I didn't have the money. Give me, I'll take my phone, broken phone, and I'll leave. He gave her that option. She's still refusing to give him back the phone. But this is where you get the gold at, right? This is the comments. Tries to steal something, immediately claims victim status when foiled. Offended by everything, ashamed of nothing, entitled to everything, contributing nothing. Right? And then somebody says they are the product of your exploitations. How exploitations? You got a $1,000 phone, $500 phone, whatever case. How's she the product? She's a product of bad upbringing, bad morals and values. It's like people still make excuses for this type of behavior. One guy says, then some people going back and forth. Somebody said, well, why even talk to it? Just call it animal control and come pick it up. Some people are just brutal. The store owner was very nice the way he responded to her too. He was talking in a very polite voice. She kept saying, it ain't my fault, bruh. What? Somebody said they saw it on YouTube a long time ago. Her mother comes and causes more problems. Stereotypes aren't given. Always crying victim when they are the ones breaking the law. So it's an old video, but I just saw it on my feed and want to bring it to you guys' attention. And I'm not picking on black culture. I'm just pointing out something that this is what the algorithm picks up on, right? And I put videos about black excellence on many times, but I go an extra mile to distinguish myself that I'm not one of these people who act like this, and I don't want the people around me to be associated with this. But this is what they put out there to project as the typical stereotype. Let's combat that shit. And and this is the thing. Like when I say let's combat it, I'm talking about y'all. I'm not doing the dumb shit. I've been there, done that, and I've been stereotyped, and I've had to overcome stereotypes. But the reality of it is, I'm gonna tell you 100% that everybody that looks like you is not your people. You don't want this person to be considered your people, man. Your people are people who think and act like you. And I went through this in prison. Oh man, that dude's from your town. Oh, he's he's your people over there. I don't know that dude. I don't know what he's in here for. I don't know his background. That's not my people, bro. I'm not gonna break bread with that dude or hang out with that dude because he's black. If you got a good head on your shoulders, you got some good moral values, you're trying to change your life for the better, then I'm gonna holler at you, man, and see if we can come to a mutual understanding. That's why I hung out with Asian, Hispanic, black, white, Mexican in prison. It was a variety. I didn't just go with one particular demographic of, what appeared to be people that look like me and say, those are my people. Because I've seen those people cannibalize each other all day long, man. Somebody says she needs to learn that stealing is not acceptable. Call the cops and press charges. Somebody says it's to the point that we actually expect that behavior now from them. See how it's like, and people are like, oh man, they're a stereotype. But why you check your people? Have some accountability. See, these aren't my kids, but I try to put out a positive message. But when you say something, everybody gets mad because they don't want no accountability. What about the white people? What about the Mexicans? I don't know them. And I don't know y'all either, but I'm saying there is some type of color scheme going on there. So all I'm saying is that there should be accountability. There should be accountability in the white culture too. Just, they do their own account. But I'm saying as far as when people look at me and then I project a message, I'm saying there should be some accountability. And you get mad. You always picking on us, man. Why you don't like you always picking on you, Uncle Tom, and man, you Sambo because you telling the blacks, but you don't say nothing about. I'm talking about you. So just because I don't say nothing about them, you think you should better get away with doing the bullshit and just embarrassing yourself? Continue embarrassing yourself, then, man. Continue to embarrass yourself. Somebody asked me about the black fatigue, man. I'm like, man, shit. I don't put myself in environments where I'm gonna be subject to that black fatigue shit, man. Black fatigue, white fatigue, Hispanic fatigue, bro. Look, I'm around people who are trying to do stuff. Otherwise, I go and do what I have to do, come home. But I'm not gonna surround myself around bullshit mentality, man. And she's lucky she's somewhere. I mean, what if the dude would have thought she was a threat? She could have got shot for stealing. Some places they if they feel threatened. I mean, this is how stupid. And then it's like, well, you didn't have to do that. Well, you didn't have to steal. You didn't have to steal. You didn't have to. And then you call somebody to come down there and start more trouble. Somebody says, I'm tired of seeing people acting disgraceful. No embarrassment for her whatsoever. Uh, huh. Somebody said, beautiful culture, not a darn thing wrong with it. In the full video, her mother comes to pick her up, slaps the shit out of her, and pays for her phone while apologizing to an employee. It's hilarious. Okay. God bless that one. If that's true, her mom actually checked her. See, man, sometimes the parents don't know what the kids are doing, but what I'm saying is that the parents, you got to call it out, man. Back in the day, man, it didn't matter if I was somewhere in public and my parents weren't around and there was maybe somebody that knew my parents or my grandparents or my my uncles and my aunts, they would say like, you know what, I've seen so and so over there, and they would actually say, hey man, do your granddaddy know you're over here? Does your uncle know you're over here? Does your mom know? Don't Aren't you the so and so kid? And they would expose you if you were doing something. They're like, hey, aren't you so and so kid? And you'd be like, damn, I'm busted. They didn't even need cameras back then. You would get busted through somebody that knew your family member exposing you. Then before you got home, you were thinking, man, I hope they don't call my grandparents, or I hope they don't call my uncle. They don't already talk to them. So you get home, you think you're cool at dinner or whatever. After that, they're like, hey, let's go into the living room. And then they break it down, and then you get an ass whooping. And that's how it dealt with. There was a lot of pride in the black community, and if your kid behaved unbecoming or was embarrassing in public, that was checked on a regular. It wasn't like, oh, well, what that person did. No, it's what you do. It don't matter. It's like you were out there, you had to be doing something. You was always in the wrong. There wasn't no excuses for your behavior. Even if the person maybe acted funny towards you, you was always in the wrong. But that was accountability. You got to get back to accountability in the black culture, man, and stop promoting the bullshit. You filming everything and everybody's laughing and, oh man, and they're justifying it, making excuses. Man, you got to stop that shit, man. You know, I'm not saying that we don't have the excellence, but like you got to stop. It's like, why endorse that ignorant ass behavior? I just, you see it for what it is, and then you try to act like you don't see it, and then you make excuses. Well, they weren't doing shit, man. Whenever I was doing something, my grandfather used to always look. He said, man, he always like, man, don't try to tell me no bullshit excuse. He would just call it out. He just didn't. And I realized later on all the stuff he said. He used to see me play doing stuff, and he would just look at me, man. And I guess he just kind of gave up. And when somebody gives up on you, that's a wrap. He just kind of he just be like, you know what, he's just gonna be what he is, and he just kind of, to a degree. And then when I got in trouble and did a little time and got it, he just looked like, whatever. I used to tell, and then he got old and he used to talk shit, and he thought I couldn't hear, but he would talk shit. I would overhear him, and then I would get mad. And then I would hear my grandpa telling him, oh, he can hear you, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, I'm going to stop coming around. I'm going to stop coming around, man. Because I felt like, I paid my dues, but he still talked shit about me like I was a piece of shit, But I wanted to see my grandmother, so I come around. And then even some other relatives be like, oh man, this little bastard, blah blah blah. He did all this. So I had some type of, divide there even among my family. And then, as he got older, he couldn't really move around. I come around, and try to be a decent grandson, man. But I realized that he probably had a lot of resentment and just embarrassment because I embarrassed him, and I didn't listen to what he told me because I felt like, I was stronger and tougher than him, so he couldn't tell me shit. So I just ignored it and I used to do what I wanted to do. But in the long run, I'm the one who suffered. I paid the price. I wasted years of my life in jail with a bunch of other people who made the same mistakes I made. And yet I get out, what? I'm mad. I can't play victim. I'm the one who put myself there. I'm the one who didn't listen. So he's mad at me or disappointed, and that's how he shows it. I mean, I gotta accept it. And so when I call it out, you gotta accept it because you're the one who did the dumb shit. I didn't tell you to do it. Nobody else told you. You made the choice. You can't, they exploit, this. There's no excuses, bro. There ain't no excuses for your actions. At some point, you gotta own up to it. You ain't went through nothing that what your great grandparents went through. You ain't went through no picking no cotton. You ain't went through no slavery. Oh man, that's bullshit. You got $100, $200 shoes. You got nice stuff. You have access to technology and all this stuff, and you got people around you. Some of them doing good, some of them doing bad. You chose to do bad. I chose to do bad, bro, and had to pay the price. And just missed out on a lot of opportunities, man, and disappointed a lot of people, bro. a lot of people. And then I had to try to prove that I was not that same person. And so you get mad and you can say what you want to say, that I say that I call out the black community, but I've been in the same position, man. So I'm only telling you what I experienced. So you little crybabies out there that want to point the finger and say stuff about me calling out the black community because nobody else wants to do it and everybody else just wants to candy coat it and continue to act like this is normal behavior. Hey, man, I don't care. I'm going to call it out. Big Herc 916. Prison Talk. Subscribe, share,
What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916, and it's going down in less than a week. October 5th, the Flexing Hulk print drops will be available on the website, bigherc916.com. Numbers 1 through 50. When they're gone, they're gone. You don't want to miss out. So make sure you reserve that date on your calendar.